In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light is the only line that could have been added to that entire Green Lantern Earth 1 book to have made it even better. But whatever, this is the Bucket Think Tank, and we're going to talk about Green Lantern Earth 1. So, Green Lantern Earth 1 is pretty much like you would expect of any Earth 1 book if you have read them before. And we talked about it last week on a video. And what makes the Earth 1 universe work, and what this book does really well, is introduce you to a new direction for the character. Bruce Wayne is a spoiled little kid who gets his parents killed. Clark Kent is this sort of very unsure, um, superpowered kid who can do anything he wants, but doesn't quite know how to interact with people, doesn't quite know what he should and shouldn't do with his powers on a bigger scale. And he has to deal with a lot of bigger questions, like even getting intimate. And the Teen Titans find themselves with all these new powers and friends and new origins, and Diana is Diana, and but anyway, Green Lantern Earth 1 fits into that mold really well, introducing the character of Harold Jordan, who is Harold is Hal's full name. So that was fun, and they gave us a totally new character, where Hal Jordan is someone who, in the comics, has always been someone very set on not being afraid and overcoming fear. This character here seems very set on avoiding people, on sort of just keeping his head down in a lot of ways. We find out that there's some issues in his history that have made him not speak up, and in a lot of ways he's sort of rebelling against that by spending over almost a decade mining on asteroids and asteroids slash meteors, and that was interesting to see him sort of be this social outcast. Where I think before Hal Jordan was very much Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Just sort of this, party guy. I mean, he feels the need for speed. This character is pretty much very different. Like, there's difference night and day, but we still get the feeling that by the end of it, this is Hal Jordan in one form or another. So, not only is the direction for his character different, but there's also some differences as to how this universe operates in terms of the Green Lanterns. So, when Harold, we'll just call him Harold for all intents and purposes, finds the Green Lantern ring, his friend is able to grab it and sort of put it on a bit, and that wasn't possible before most Green Lantern stories. It is almost impossible to put a ring on because you want to put it on. The ring chooses the bearer. But here we see the Green Lantern rings, and the Green Lanterns are effectively just legends at this point. We find out from other characters that, the Green Lanterns used to be this really great force for justice, but then the Manhunters came and killed most of the Lanterns and seized Oa, so the Green Rings don't work the way they used to. They can provide some flight capabilities, some green energy blast, and the Universal Translator, but that's pretty much it. And they still have to be charged. And turns out the little Green Lanterns that Hal has, that Kilowog has, they have the lanterns themselves have to recharge for about a full day. So we're seeing a rather different take on this. In a lot of ways, it reminded me a bit of the first time we see a lightsaber in A New Hope. Kenobi takes lightsabers, going not as round or clumsy as a blaster, an elegant weapon for a more advanced stage. And that's what I got the feeling from looking at the rings and seeing how they're talked about. This does feel like a sort of post-Order 66 Star Wars universe, where, the good guys are hiding from the bad guys. And what makes this interesting is it's not, well, we have to go and fight and join the resistance. There is no resistance. The Manhunters are out there wreaking havoc, and, some planets are lucky, they don't see them. Earth is so far out that the Manhunters have no reason to go down there. And we see people like the character Kilowog and Arisia and a partner to another Green Lantern who have, we've been affected by this, and we know other things about the Guardians that, some say the Guardians created the Manhunters to kill the Green Lantern. Some say the Manhunters were just enemies of the Green Lantern Corps that got out of hand. Oa's been destroyed, the Guardians are evil, and Hal is just sort of like, well, we still need to find other Green Lanterns because a bunch of Manhunters have invaded Kilowog's planet, and Hal, which is very unique for Hal, especially this early in most Hal Jordan origins, he's very much saying we need other people, we have to get more information. He's a bit more intelligence based here, not super intelligence based, but he's very much aware that one person cannot be the spark that will set fire to the whole First Order. No, it's like no, we get everybody together, as many people as possible, and we'll see what happens. We'll go from there, but we need a lot more. And we sort of see a galaxy that's just tired, beaten down, and even though Harold and Kilowog are trying to motivate people, they're turned down by some. Some just don't have a Green Lantern. Anyone has a ring. And that's sort of the nice general vibe you get from this book. It's never a straight answer. It's never the obvious, we do this, everything will be fine. Like, even when this book ends, even when this story ends, there's very much the idea that, we're back. The Green Lantern Corps is, quote unquote, back. They don't quite know what they're doing because, there's no one to teach them exactly everything that's going on, so they're learning by the seat of their pants. Hal / Harold, they go to planets, they're like, does anyone here have a Green Lantern? Does anyone here have a Green Lantern? And someone says, no, like, okay, you're the new Green Lantern for this planet now, alright, so here's this ring, totally can work, if you need anything, let us know, and we'll go from there. And Kilowog, who posed this question before, how do you know she's worthy? And Harold goes, I don't know, we'll find out. Because, remember, there's no requirement for these rings in this book. Just like, if you have it, put it on, and there you go. Kilowog even brings up the question, like, what if someone bad has a Green Lantern ring? Like, do we have to fight them to take it from them? That's sort of what I think is really great about this. It's asking these questions because the universe needs these questions asked. We don't have the same rings as before that have all these incredible safety measures to them and these really strict requirements. Like, do you have willpower? Enough will to overcome great fear. Not just that spider in the room, but 3 spiders in the room. And that's fun. That's really fun. But another thing I like about this book is the art. So originally I thought this was the same person who did the art for Infamous Iron Man, Alex Maleev. Turns out, no, it was Gabriel Hardman. And what I liked about this art is the same thing I liked in Infamous Iron Man. There's a certain real sort of gringe to it. There's a lot of darkness to this book that doesn't feel like it's overwhelming you. And again, it reminds me a bit of the Star Wars universe, where everything is a bit gritty and dirty, and in a really cool, natural sort of way, because when things have to look clean, like Kilowog's lab, it looks really clean. But when you get to places like the slave camp on Oa, it looks really different, it looks really fun. The writing, this is written by not just Gabriel Hardman, but Karina Sarah Becco. I've slaughtered that name. I'm totally gonna admit I've slaughtered that name. And while I don't know a lot of what she's written, per se, I am really impressed. I almost want to pick up some other stuff she's written. The two of them have done work before for Star Wars Legacy, that series of comics involving Cade Skywalker, and honestly, I kind of want to reread those again. They've also done work for Sensation Comics, Savage Hulk, Secret Avengers, and this really shows. So I'm really looking forward to picking up Star Wars Legacy again. I never finished reading that. And Sensation Comics as well, because they've totally got me sold on more of the other stuff they've done. Again, if there was one thing I think I would change in this is stuff that will probably be shown in later volumes. Like the introduction, although the proper introduction of Carol Ferris, who was only mentioned here. The Oath, which will probably play a part later, because we have a hunch that when Volume 2 comes out, whenever that is, we will be seeing the return of the arrival of the Yellow Lanterns. So that'll be fun. There are a couple of, well, not really Easter eggs, but characters we know we'll see later who play bigger roles. It looks like we saw Tomar Ree just outside of Oa, or it might have been Tomar too, but I'm thinking Tomar Ree. Sinestro was there. You'd almost miss him, but I'd know that kind of dialogue anywhere. That's Sinestro. and Aricia, who seems to be a bit different than how we normally see her as. Originally in the comics, those she and Hal Jordan had dated, so it would be interesting to see if that comes up again. But overall, I'm very excited about this book and future volumes. If you haven't read this, and you're looking to something to get into the Earth One universe, I'd recommend reading this one. If you have read it, leave your thoughts down in the comments section, and I will catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing out. May your fandom serve you well.